If you talk to your friends the way you talk to yourself, you'd have 0 friends and possibly a restraining order. And yet, you've been letting that voice in your head bully you for decades. Today I'm going to show you 5 psychology-backed ways to shut it down without pretending to just love yourself. Hi, I'm Coach Jen. I'm in my 50s, and learning to quiet my inner judge changed everything in my life. If you're done being your own worst enemy, stay with me. The power of awareness. Before we can silence the judge, we have to be able to hear her. And here's what's fascinating. Most of us have been listening to our inner critic for so long, we don't even notice it anymore. It's like background noise we've tuned out. So the very first tool is this: name your inner judge. I call mine Judge Judy. Some of my clients have named theirs Petty Patty or Regina George from Mean Girls, or even name them after an elementary school bully. Why does this work? Because naming her creates separation. Instead of thinking I'm a failure, you can think, oh, Judge Judy is saying I'm a failure. See the difference? The first version feels like truth. The second version, that's just Judge Judy doing her thing again. So right now, pause and think, what are you going to name your inner judge? Make it something that helps you remember she's not the boss of you. Once you've named her, your job is to call her out every single time she shows up. Say, I see you, Judge Judy. I hear you. We're not doing that anymore. The simple act of labeling an emotion or thought weakens it. It brings you from your reactive emotional brain into your logical thinking brain. It creates just enough space for you to choose a different response. Now, naming the judge is powerful, but it's just the beginning. The second tool I'm going to share with you is the fastest way to shift out of judgment and into something that actually serves you. By the end of this video, you're going to feel lighter, like you can finally breathe again. This next tool is simple but incredibly powerful. Start listening for red flag words. These are the words that signal Judge Judy is in the driver's seat. The big ones are, I should, I shouldn't, I have to, I need to, I always, I never. Every single one of these is a judgment. Let me show you what I mean. I should have handled that differently. That's judgment. I need to work out today. That's judgment. I always mess things up. That's judgment. I never follow through. That's judgment. Now here's the thing. These words feel true in the moment. Of course you should work out. Of course you need to be more productive, right? Wrong. You don't actually need to do anything. You don't have to do anything. Those are choices you're making. And when we frame them as obligations, we feel resentful and defeated. So here's what I want you to do. Whenever you catch yourself using one of these words, pause and rephrase it. Instead of I should work out today, try I'm choosing to work out today because I want to feel strong. Instead of I need to finish this project, try I want to finish this project so I can feel accomplished. See how that shifts the energy? You move from obligation to choice, from judgment to empowerment. Make this a game for yourself. Challenge yourself to go one full day noticing every time you use a red flag word. You'll be amazed at how often it happens. Okay, so we've named the judge and we're catching her red flag words. But what about when she's really loud? When you've made a mistake and that inner critic is just relentless? That's where this next tool comes in. And it's a game changer. This next tool is so simple, and yet it's the one that makes people cry when they actually do it. Here it is. Talk to yourself the way you'd talk to your best friend. Think about someone you absolutely love and adore. Maybe it's your sister, your best friend, your daughter, your grandchild. Someone who, when they walk into a room, your face just lights up. Now I want you to think about something negative you said to yourself recently. Maybe you looked in the mirror and thought, I look terrible. Maybe you made a mistake and thought, I'm so stupid. Maybe you're behind on something and thought, I never follow through on anything. Now imagine saying that to your best friend. Imagine looking at her and saying, you look terrible. You're so stupid. You never follow through. You would never, right? So why in the world are you saying it to yourself? Here's the truth. You are the most important person in your life. You are your own best friend, or at least you should be. If you wouldn't say it to someone you love, don't say it to yourself. I want you to get a photo of yourself as a child, maybe you're 3 or 4 years old, and put it somewhere you'll see it every day, on your desk, in your bathroom, on your phone. And when Judge Judy starts going off, I want you to look at that little girl and ask yourself, would I say this to her? Because she's still in there. That sweet, worthy, innocent child is still you, and she deserves kindness. This practice of treating yourself like your best friend isn't just some feel-good exercise. It literally rewires your brain. When you practice self-compassion, you lower your stress hormones, you increase your resilience, and you show up more powerfully in every area of your life. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, but Jen, doesn't being hard on myself keep me motivated? Don't I need that push? I'm glad you asked, because this next tool is going to completely flip that belief on its head. And if this is hitting home and you're realizing how deeply ingrained this pattern is, this is exactly what I help women untangle step by step in my Mindset Mastery course. I'll link it below if you want real support with this work. Here's something that might surprise you. Beating yourself up does not motivate you. It never has, and it never will. If self-judgment worked, we'd all be crushing our goals, right? We're experts at being hard on ourselves. But instead, what happens? We feel ashamed, we shut down, we give up, we isolate or avoid. The research is clear. Shame and judgment do not lead to positive change. Compassion does. So here's what I want you to do. Adopt a zero-tolerance policy for self-bullying. Schools have zero tolerance for bullying. They don't allow it under any circumstances. I want you to implement that same policy for yourself. No more trash talk. No more beating yourself up. No more name calling. Your inner critic thinks she's a motivational speaker, but honestly, she's more like a drunk heckler in the audience. When you catch yourself doing it, because you will, we all do, you simply say, I have a zero tolerance policy for bullying myself. We're not doing this anymore. Now, I want to be really clear about something. This is not about toxic positivity. I'm not asking you to look in the mirror and say, I love my body, if that feels like a lie. This is about moving from judgment to neutrality. From I hate how I look to I have a body. It does things for me. From I'm a failure to I'm a human being learning and growing. You don't have to love everything about yourself. You just have to stop being cruel. And here's what's powerful. When you stop wasting energy on self-judgment, you free up that energy for things that actually matter. Creativity, joy, connection, growth. All right, we've covered 4 powerful tools, but there's one more practice that ties this all together, and it's something you can start doing tomorrow morning that will completely change the trajectory of your day. If you want to make this shift permanent, you have to make it a daily practice. Every single morning, I want you to do something that lights you up when you look in the mirror. Mel Robbins does a high five in the mirror. BJ Fogg, who wrote Tiny Habits, recommends smiling the moment your feet hit the floor in the morning. Find something that works for you. Maybe it's saying, good morning, gorgeous. Maybe it's I got this. Maybe it's just giving yourself a wink. It sounds silly, I know, but it sets the tone for your entire day. It tells your brain we're not doing the self-hatred thing today. Today, we're on our own team. And at the end of the day, write down 3 wins. Not big, monumental things, tiny wins. I paused before responding in anger. I noticed when I was full and stopped eating. I asked for help. I gave myself permission to rest. When you focus on what you did right instead of what you did wrong, you train your brain to look for evidence of your success instead of your failure. This isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about slowly, gently, retraining that inner voice to be your biggest cheerleader instead of your worst enemy. Friends, you have spent enough years being harsh with yourself. You've tried that approach and it doesn't work. What if you tried being kind to yourself instead? What if you treated yourself like someone you loved? Your life would change, I promise you. And if you're ready to stop white-knuckling your mindset and actually rewire it, my course walks you through this process in a simple, compassionate way. You don't have to do this alone anymore. If this video helped you, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more mindset tools. And share this with someone who needs to hear it. Drop a comment below and tell me, which tool are you going to implement first? I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you deserve your own compassion.